Imagine strolling in the California sunshine, rubbing shoulders with royalty in London, or making a huge scientific breakthrough at MIT. Now stop imagining, because I'm going to tell you exactly how the Duolingo English Test can make those dreams a reality. Let's go. I'm Francis from Last Minute English. On this channel, we help you pass your English exams like IELTS and Duolingo English Test and reach advanced level English. Now, the Duolingo English Test is becoming more and more popular with universities around the world. And in fact, there are now over 5,000 universities that accept the DET as proof of your English level. But today, we're looking at 5 very, very special ones. And for our first international university, we're heading to the land of the rising sun. If you dream of studying in a beautiful and unique location, surrounded by cutting-edge research and brilliant academics, then Hokkaido University in Japan could be the perfect place for you. Now, Hokkaido University is the lowest ranked of the universities we're looking at today. It's between 350 and 400 on the Times Higher Education University World Rankings. But don't let that put you off. Hokkaido is one of the only universities in Japan that has English courses, and those are for undergraduate, postgraduate, and PhD. And they have programs across many different subjects, including chemistry, earth sciences, and material sciences. But that's not all. Hokkaido is in Sapporo, so it has beautiful snowy mountains, it has natural hot springs, and amazing Japanese cuisine. And their requirements for your DET are relatively low as well, so you have to score at least 110 on the DET to prove your level and be accepted to study. So that's number 5 on our list. Let's move to university number 4. And we're going to go across the Pacific Ocean all the way to Canada. And we're looking at the University of Toronto. One of the most amazing things about the University of Toronto are the beautiful campus buildings. They're in a Gothic style and they're surrounded by incredible lakes. But what's even more impressive is that they are ranked only 21 on the higher education ranking. They have over 700 undergraduate courses and over 200 postgraduate courses to choose from. But the important detail, if you're not a native English speaker, what level of DET score are they asking for? So they need you to get at least an average of 120, and none of your sub-scores can be lower than 100. Let's move up the list now to number 3. Number 3, we're crossing the Atlantic Ocean, and you might need to bring your raincoat because we're going to rainy England, and specifically to London, and even more specifically to Imperial College London. And we're rising up the rankings again. Imperial is ranked as the 8th best university in the world. And before we go on, let me clear something up. I did make the joke about England being rainy, and everybody has the idea of it being like black skies full of rain clouds. But the truth is that statistically, London has the same amount of rain as cities like Barcelona. And that's even less rain than cities like Rome, Sydney, Orlando, and New York. So it's not that bad. So anyway, enough about the weather. British people, we talk about the weather too much. Imperial College, it's in the heart of London, and it specializes in areas like medicine, science, business, and engineering. And then what about their DET score requirements? So there are actually 2 levels of course at Imperial. Some courses are ranked as standard level and some are higher level. So if you're applying for a course at standard level, you need to get an average of 115 with no score lower than 105. And if you apply to a higher level course, your average should be 125 and no sub-score level under 115. Okay, that's enough of rainy London, or maybe not so rainy London. Let's go back across the Atlantic. We're going to the 3rd best university in the world. This is in Massachusetts. Which university is it? The Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT. Now, this is a university with an amazing reputation of breeding geniuses and being at the heart of innovation. So if you're the kind of person who wants to solve climate change or even create a robot that makes pizza, yes, really, MIT could be the place for you. And MIT even has some international scholarships to help you with the cost of attending. And what else do we need to know? The DET requirements. So something interesting about MIT, if you're a non-native English speaker, they don't technically require you to show your English level with an exam. But they do strongly suggest that you include IELTS or TOEFL or DET scores in your application. So really, if you want to get in, it's very competitive. You do need to get a good score. So what's a good score? I would say ideally the same as the higher level at Imperial College London. So 125 average and at least 115 for each sub-score. So we've looked at number 5 up to number 2. All that's left is number 1. And we're going to travel by car to the top ranked university that accepts DET. We're going to travel 3,129 miles by car, precisely, from the east coast of America to the west coast. Where are we going? We're going to Stanford. Now, Stanford is the second ranked university in the whole world, according to the Times Higher Education World Rankings. And that means that it is our top-ranked university that accepts the DET as the proof of your English. Stanford has world-class professors, amazing courses, it has the California sunshine, and of course it's right next door to Silicon Valley. So it could be a good little jump to get a Silicon Valley job once you graduate. Now, interestingly, just like MIT, Stanford don't have a specific score that you have to get. They don't technically require you to prove your English level. Instead, they think about your score that you show or your application as a way of you showing off your English ability. So then why have I included Stanford in this list? It's because in their application guidelines, they specifically mention exams like DET as a great addition to your application to prove your English proficiency, to show just how good your English is. Now, you should know they also accept IELTS, they accept TOEFL, but DET is definitely the cheapest and the most convenient to take of those 3. And even better, Stanford offers fee waivers for the DET. So if you submit a full application showing your financial needs, you could qualify for that. So those are our top 5 universities around the world that accept the DET as a proof of your English. But remember, there are now over 5,000 universities that accept it. Remember as well to keep checking those universities' application guidelines, because the DET score that they require could change in the future. And my question for you today, if you could choose to go to any university around the world, which one would you choose? It doesn't have to be one that accepts DET. The world is your oyster. What would be your dream university? Tell me in the comments down here. Remember to like and subscribe this video if you found it useful, and we have new videos coming out every week about DET, about IELTS, about business English, about all kinds of things. So make sure you don't miss out. I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.